and welcome to another edition.
Where's your hat?
Oh yeah! Of Under the Hat.
The hat.
I'm Sydney.
And I'm Bellboy. And today we're going to do, as we promised, our top 5 Wrestlemania matches. As WrestleMania is around the corner, we're thinking we're going to give you a bit more WrestleMania info. We thought long and hard over this. We looked back at a few tapes. I'm sure you know the matches at the back of your hands. But at number 5, we've agreed that it came in as the Ultimate Warrior and the Macho King, Randy Savage, at WrestleMania 7.
That's it. This was a retirement match.
Yeah, career ending. The feud was great building up to this, I remember. It really, this was the match I actually looked forward to seeing the most out of any match at WrestleMania 7, even though it wasn't the main event on the card. Savage came in as the Macho King, the heel, the big heel. He lost the match to the Ultimate Warrior.
Even though, might add, he tried to do 5 elbow drops?
He did.
Ultimate Warrior, and he still kicked out.
He did 5 elbows from the top rope. Warrior kicked out, and after that you thought, the Macho King is, Warrior's got his number. And he did in the end. He did a... Well, Savage did kick out of the Gorilla Press move, which was quite impressive. I think Hogan was the only one before that to actually kick out of that. And
yeah,
it boiled down to just Warrior winning and then Savage reuniting with Elizabeth at the end, which was extra special.
A great classic Mania match there.
Yeah.
So then we got number 4.
Number 4, The Rock and Austin at WrestleMania 17.
That's it. What a great feud here. A legendary feud with the Texas Rattlesnake and the Great One. They'd had a feud before at WrestleMania 15. And this one was sort of a replica of that, but at this point they were both going in as face into the match, and it was being held in the Rattlesnake's home town.
Yeah, Texas, Houston, Texas, where Mania is going to be, just next door to the Reliance Day in the Astrodome.
That's it, and there was a lot of hype behind this match. There was a lot of people going for the Great One in the match, but the majority of people, the fans, were going for Austin.
The crowd were loving Austin. They were booing The Rock. Rock got a lot of sort of reactions like Cena got in later years, in most recent years. He kind of was a face most of the time, but at Mania they booed the hell out of him. Rock got a lot of that.
That's it, and they were both the people at the top of their game at this time, and the big fan favourites, and they were very good at wrestling, put on a great show, and a massive twist at the end with McMahon helping out Austin to get the title.
Unbelievable.
And Austin turning heel, a massive heel turn, probably one of the biggest ever.
I'd say probably arguably the biggest heel turn ever. A great ending to a classic match.
And a great Mania at that.
Yeah, one of the best.
Then at number 3,
well,
we've got
Hulk Hogan in the Ultimate Warrior, in the Ultimate Challenge at WrestleMania 6. And now this was a milestone in wrestling history. A lot of people look back as the Hogan Andre the Giant match as the milestone in wrestling history. Me and Sydney ourselves, we're not quite that old yet, so we sort of look back in the same way at this match. The Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan as the milestone for us.
That's it. Much like the Rock and Austin match, they were both the key players at that time, both faces going in there. Didn't know who was going to win. Hogan was indestructible at that time, but he hadn't come across someone who was indestructible like the Ultimate Warrior. And it was just, you didn't know who was going to have it in the end.
You didn't. It was swung back and forth, back and forth. The crowd was very even.
Very good crowd reaction, but yeah, it was 50-50, unlike the Rock and Austin.
Yeah, there's not many matches in history, especially at Mania, that have been 50-50 crowd reaction. This was definitely one of them.
Yeah, a lot of hype between this Ultimate Challenge. The match that they held and the chemistry was very good in this match.
It was great. They're not great wrestlers, but their gimmicks really held this match together. And Warrior ended up winning it, and I'm glad they did. I think that day they actually came up with the idea. They didn't know who was going to win out of Hogan and the Warrior. And it was that day they made up their mind the Warrior was going to win, and it was a very good decision.
I think that was a good decision for the whole company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then at number 2, we go on to...
Now this was good.
The submission match between Bret the Hitman Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah. WrestleMania 13. Austin says it's his best match of his career, and I definitely agree with that. I think it's one of Bret's. It was an awesome match. It was an awesome feud.
Yeah, King Shamrock, I mean, known for his submission holds. He was the guy being the ref, which was a nice little added bit to the match.
Yeah, coming into the WWF at the time.
And the main thing was that the sort of heels, one guy was face, Austin. Bret was a legendary face, and Austin was a bit of a heel, and they totally swapped in this match.
Yeah, they switched roles completely.
The chemistry was great, the wrestling ability. I mean, if you haven't seen Austin in his heyday, you need to watch this match, because this is when he was a brilliant wrestler. You couldn't fault him.
Yeah.
Bret the Hitman Hart always been a good wrestler, and he looked the man in this match too. You had this added thing where Austin got real blood, got a real injury, and blood all dripping down his face in the sharpshooter.
One of the most classic moments ever. I mean, it was a very bad cut. I think he still bears the scar, and I think it's one of the most famous moments in WrestleMania history. Him bleeding in the sharpshooter.
That's it, and one of the best sharpshooters ever.
Oh, definitely. I think it is arguably the best. I mean, try and name it a better sharpshooter if you can. Than Bret Hart did on Steve Austin that night. I mean, no one has ever cinched up a sharpshooter that well, I don't believe.
That's it. So it all made it totally turned Austin into the Stone Cold Steve Austin we know today.
Yeah, it did. It made Austin.
It made him. And, a great WrestleMania match for Bret the Hitman Hart too.
Yeah, his last one, I might add.
That's it. So we go on to our top hat now.
Yeah. Top hat. We've thought long and hard about it, and I think a lot of you are probably agreeing. I'm sure it's floating in your minds now. You haven't mentioned this one, well, we're about to mention it.
This wasn't the main event of the night, might I add, but we worked it out. Our favourite WrestleMania match, collectively, would be the ladder match, WrestleMania 10.
Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels.
That's it. A brilliant match, an innovative Mania match, the first ladder match at Mania.
Yeah, it was monumentous at that time, 1994. We hadn't really seen anything in that calibre before, and it kind of showed what was to come for the WWF, WWE, and they both were in their primes. I mean, Michaels, some people might say he benefited from it more, but I think both of them really put on all they could do with that match. Razor Ramon won the match.
That's it, definitely his best Mania moment of all time.
No doubt about it. Michaels, I think, probably have got one of the most famous moves from that match, doing that splash off the ladder. It's used numerous times in Mania promos and build-ups.
Yeah, if you haven't seen this match, you've just got it. You can't not enjoy this WrestleMania match. It's just a brilliant match to watch.
Beautifully done. They work so well together.
Good characters, good gimmicks, good feud leading up to the match.
It's true. I mean, it had everything you needed to, and like I said, at that time, we hadn't seen too much of this.
And these TLC matches that you might see nowadays and the Money in the Bank, they all came from this Mania match, WrestleMania 10.
It set a bar.
This was the one that set a bar for these ladder matches that we now see today.
Yeah, absolutely genius. I hope you agree with our top 5. If you haven't, let us know, because we'd like to see your top 5, Yeah,
it's getting close to Mania. Everyone's in the Mania mode. Put your best Mania matches down. Hopefully we'll see some of the best Mania matches at WrestleMania 25.
Well, hopefully,
Now, next episode we're going to have Richard in Horrocks Under Your Hat special.
It's an Under Your Hat special again.
And that is, do you think that a wrestler's gimmick can sometimes override wrestling ability?
Very interesting subject there.
Yeah, so we're going to talk in depth about that.
Yeah.
But until next time, what goes on under the hat
stays
under the hat.